everyone, welcome to a new video. On this one I'm going to be teaching you guys how to play GZDooM without going through the frustration of trying to launch a saved game and not being able to play it. Normally what causes this is for me, and I'm pretty sure this is what a lot of people would do. I played so many mods that what I would do is install GZDooM in different separate folders, separate installs, because I played a lot of mods, and my thinking was that it was going to create different GZDooM save locations for each separate install. But what happens is it defaults to the save folder, which I believe goes into my documents, GZDooM. And what happens is if you have multiple installs and you're playing a Doom mod on one folder and you're playing another Doom mod in another folder, what happens is eventually they all start accumulating in that save directory. And sometimes when you launch the GZDooM from a folder, you're going to have extra saves that don't belong to that install, and you're not going to be able to load them, and it's going to become confusing. So this way that I'm about to show you right now, what it'll do, it'll create separate directories inside the actual GZDooM folder that you have. So that's the easiest way, because then on top of that, being able to load easily, it's going to make the installation portable. So we'll go ahead and show you how to do that now. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you exactly what it is doing to a lot of people that have a lot of different mods. So if you look on the right side of my computer here, you'll see all these different batch files that I have. These are all for different mods that I'm running. I've now fixed it so every single mod has its own save folder, so I don't have an issue when I launch GZDooM. I'll be able to load the games right away. So literally what this trick is going to do, well, it's not a trick, it's just a setting that a lot of people don't know how to set it up. So as you can see, there's a saves folder inside here versus it being in the my directory folder, which is can cause the issue because you'll have everything in there and you'll have save games that you can't launch. So if you notice on here, for all these different batch files that I have, now there is a save folder in the same directory, and it has the different games that I've launched. So in other words, every time, even if I launch a game within this folder that's not on this list, it'll create its own save folder with the save files inside that, so there'll be no issue when I launch the game. So on the left side here, I got one folder that has the the issue, so we'll launch that real quick and I'll show you what I mean. So as you can see, this one doesn't have a save folder, so it's storing all the games in the my directory portion of the computer, or my my documents. So here's an example. So we'll launch this here real quick. So we're going to go ahead and load game, and I'll show you here what the issue is. So right now, as if you look, you see there's an auto save. There's an auto save again, Doom Complete, which is a different, different mod that I was running. And this is for the Quake 2 map set. As you can see, once I hit enter, it does not load. So what I'm going to do now is show you how to avoid that. So what you do is, you've looked at my videos before, then you will know how to make the batch files. If you don't, you can always, go in there and check out how to make a batch file, which is the easiest because you can load all the, the PKit files that you want in that and just launch it without having to drag and drop your files. So go ahead and just open up any one of those. And what you're going to do, once you open up the batch file, go to the very end of it, you're going to hit space and you're going to type in save, dir space, and saves. And then what that's going to do is actually create a folder on its own. The only thing you really need to do is just name it. So in other words, like if you're going to play brutal checks, you want to do this. Now, word of caution, when you make these, do not just call it Doom, create a space and put, Doom space 2 or Doom, space, whatever mod you're using, because the way this is set up, what it's going to do, if you put a space, it's going to ignore everything after the space. And then if you have, several mods that start off Doom, and you put a space on there, it's more than likely going to put them all in the same folder. So you want to make sure that you do whatever the game is underscore, and then add, add on after that. Whatever you do after that, you always want to do underscore. So you never want to put a name space. So you're always going to do name underscore, name again underscore, and so forth. So make sure it does not have any, like I said, any spaces in it, because if you have the beginning of it with the same name, it's going to more than likely put it in the same folder, and you're going to have the issue again with the save games not launching. So we're going to do a quick test here. So we're going to copy this. So literally all you got to do is just type this in the end. So we're going to go ahead and paste it in here. So once you do this, it's cool because whatever you name it, the GZDooM will actually create the folder on its own. So the one we were going to play here, which was Doom 2. So remember, it's going to be Doom underscore 2. That's all you got to do. Save that file. Then once you have that saved, you can go ahead and close it. Now I'm going to go up here again. Now, as you can see, there's no save folder in this directory. So we'll go ahead and we'll launch Doom 2 batch file, which we just edited. So now see, now if you go to load games, there's no load games because it's looking in the directory that the game just created. Now a heads up, before you do this, if you want to, keep the save files that you already have on your computer, maneuver to that location and copy your .zds files over, which are the save games, and you can put them in the new folder it created. If you do not do that, you will lose the save games. Well, you won't necessarily lose them. They just won't find them, and you won't be able to load them. So move them over, copy them, and then put them in the new directory it creates. So we'll go ahead and launch a game here real quick. And I'm not even going to play. I'm just going to go ahead and save. So save game, we'll just call this test. And then what this is going to do is create its own save file inside that folder. So it said the save game was saved. So you can go ahead and exit now. And now you see the folder's been created, saves, under the directory name that you gave it. So this comes in super beneficial because now you can go ahead and stick as many mods as you want inside this folder. And then as long as you have that extension added to the end, it's going to create a different folder for you with the save game from that mod you were playing. So once again, here we'll do it real quick. So this is going to be Doom 2 Redux. I'm going to save that. We're going to launch it again. Here you can see nothing to load because it hasn't been created. You create a new game. I'm just going to save it here real quick. Game save. We're going to quit. And now if we go into that saves folder, now you can see it also has a directory created for the Redux mod, which we just played. Now, if this is not set up like this, more than likely what would have happened once you, would have gone in here and launched it, then once you launched this, GZDooM, it would have showed you both saves. And, sometimes you don't know which one to load because it could just be a default name or a date or so forth. And then you'd have the problem with the, save game sometimes not loading because it's not looking in the right directory. So if you do this, you should be all set. You should be able to run as many mods as you want. As you can see here on the folder I have on the right, you can see there's a ton of files on there. It looks like a mess, but once you do it like this, you got a batch file for each game. You're literally going to load it with whatever settings you were using for that mod. So for example, here, this is the Doom inside the free Doom. So as you can see, you have all the commands in there. You have the WAD, and then these are all the entries to load all the other extras that you have with the mod. And there's the directory they recreated. So like I said, this is super easy. As long as you follow that video, it's going to save you a ton of time. And like I said, for example, in my situation, I have the GZDooM in another hard drive, you know, running off the same OS. So this way, if anything happens to, you know, the C drive, I lose the C drive for whatever, the GZDooM games and the save games, they're all going to remain intact. So hopefully that's beneficial to you guys. If, as you know, because I know I was having a problem running so many mods in the same folder. I couldn't figure out what save game was what, and half of the time they wouldn't launch anyway. So this should take care of that problem for you guys. So we're done with this one. Go ahead and enjoy GZDooM, and we'll see you guys on the next video. And don't forget to hit subscribe.